Another really cool lake. Like a good bench for a rest. So I'm chilling out. And then this thing about having my rain gear on is this bench is wet and I just don't care. I can just sit on it and chill. Well, you start going up Chephren Lake. Right away you wander off trail a bit and you see God knows what. Couldn't tell you, but there's a view. All along this trail so far has been like a meadow just over here, right? And so it makes for good breaks in the trees for scenery. So, point being, so far Chephren Lake would be much better scenic. I mean, Cirque Lake stays in the trees quite a bit until you get to the torrent. That torrent is nice. Very easy hiking so far. There's routes, but they're spaced out. And absolutely no climbing yet, so it's nice. Nice to see the occasional bridge. For the record, I can hear people like 50 yards away talking. If they have bear bells, who knows? I doubt it. If they do, I couldn't hear them yet. Another really cool lake. Can't see a whole lot, but that would be an outstanding view. Can't see anything at the end of the lake. Very nice. It's easy to see why this one's more popular. It's definitely got a higher ratio of reward to work. I did like that torrent on Cirque Lake, and I thought the view off Cirque Lake was also pretty great. One thing I'm learning is that if a trail has any type of popularity, whatever book you look at, Canadian Rockies Trail Guide or whatever, wherever it talks about heading up to, where it ends, there's always more. Always. It's some old, look at these very recent footprints. It's some old trail decommissioned by the parks, or it's just very old. God knows, it could be from the Aborigines or something, who knows. God knows where the trail came from, but there's always more trail. Always give yourself time, and then you can go explore. So this trail follows the lake. I don't know how far. I already checked out the other side, and there are parts over there that are very, very steep. So I don't think this goes around the lake. But, there's always the curiosity. What does it go to? I even saw some evidence of chainsaw work, though it's very old. So, always more trails. Well, I've gone pretty good ways. This here is a rather unnatural looking pile of rocks, so I think that's someone's way of leaving their mark. I have had to fight to get this far now. I had to go battle my way through the bush to get around kind of a pondish area. There's no more obvious trail. Now there's you beat your way through along on these rocks and along the shore, And every so often you see evidence of people that have come here. Areas tramped down, that sort of thing. Maybe I'll stop at that little jut out over there. Yeah, the obvious trail is gone. And of course, the farther I go, the more people have turned back. And so that makes the way there tougher because things have been less traiped down. See, like all this, that's all been trampled down a bit. I can tell, right? Maybe not by humans, by animals, but yeah. This would be pretty outstanding. You know what? It's pretty cool anyway. Some nice views along this lake. Beautiful lake too. Beautiful hue of blue. That's the second one I've seen down here. What is the purpose? So I didn't stop at the jut. Of course not. I just can't help myself sometimes. I have time, I have energy. I just keep following a trail. Even though I know I'm gonna have to go back. Even though I know it has gotten me kind of wet and I'll have to walk all the way back through it, which will get me even more wet. I mean, you know, the pants, the jacket stops some of it, but it starts to find its way in. Trail's still here though. Still going. I have to brush my way through a lot of stuff. If you were gonna do this, you need long pants, long sleeves, because I've brushed through 1,000 trees with my legs. And there is the one part that got kind of swampy that I had to battle my way through the bush itself with no trail at all, just pure bushwhacking. Just when you think you're alone, this is recent. Who the hell came down as far as I did? Who is this insane? That's level shot. Oh, that is the up shot. So this is what I've reached. The trail comes up to here, and then you got a big washout. And you know, it's raining, and it's been raining on and off for days. Maybe the trail is up there someplace. Either way, it would have to keep going up, right, and get up on that. I would have kind of liked to get to that pile of rocks there. I thought that'd be pretty neat. You know, like, what an impressive rock slide that was. To just put that pile of rocks out there like that. But this would be just dangerous. Not so much, I don't think, going up. But coming down. I have to come down this thing too, right? And this would be quite the fall, resulting in me maybe bashing some things on rocks and heading into that glacial lake. Needless to say, if I went into that lake, I have no way to warm myself up. You know, I don't have a backpack full of waterproof stuff. So, I think safety is going to call it. This was basically, like I said, I thought I might try to get to those rocks, but this is basically as far as, you know, I was curious to see if there was a trail that kept going. There probably is. I bet there's something that goes up there, maybe climbs up these mountains. Maybe this is peat baggers that have been going down here, right? But, I mean, this is pretty cool. Would be even cooler, of course, without the smoke and the low clouds, but it's pretty cool. I've certainly brought out my stubborn mule, donkey, ass, whatever you want to call it, and given him exercise. This is a pretty good outlet for that. I mean, I can be a stubborn idiot, and, you know, this is not a bad way to exercise it, so. Okay. Can't even really sit on this rock. It's too big for me to get my butt up onto. It probably comes up to like the middle of my back. I'll find somewhere down there, have a rest, and carry on. It's time to head out, and that's where you really start cursing yourself for coming so far. So, As you'll probably figure out, I'm saying this to myself as much as I am to you. On the way back, on the way here, I'm sharp, I'm focused, I want to get somewhere, I'm following this cool trail, I'm seeing neat stuff. Your brain it's on, it's turned on. On the way back, I have to dial it in. It's easy to just be like, okay, I've walked all this, I've seen what I came to see, whatever. Okay, well, I still have a lot of rock hopping to do, a lot of tree jumping to do, and it's all wet. I mean, it's sprinkling. And this is when you twist your ankle. It's when you hurt yourself, because let your guard down. So, yeah. And I mean, yeah, I'm saying this, I'm lecturing myself as much as I am anyone who's watching. I have to keep my focus, take my time on the way out. Because it's just as dangerous on the way out as it is on the way in. Well, count me lucky. At some point, well, obviously here, this slipped off of my pack. I'm lucky it wasn't when I was rock hopping across the lake or whatever. It's a tree or something that pulled it off. Oh well, and it's on a back and forth. I hadn't even noticed it was gone. Well, I got this thing back. Well, this isn't a maple because they're just growing little bits out of the ground. How often do you see this? Oh, Canada. Wow, that's just as red can be. Damn. Well, I'm doing just what I said. I'm picking my way back, cool and careful. Probably take me like 25 to 40% longer to go the way back. But everything's wet and slick, and I gotta be careful. Even taking a chance filming and doing this. Believe me, I'm not looking at the camera. I'm looking where I'm going. I'll probably never know where this trail came from. I will research, and if I find anything, I will put it up on the screen at this time. But, it is kind of fun to check stuff on the internet. Sometimes you find things that, you find a loose strand, you pull it, you end up finding out neat stuff. Maybe it has nothing to do with you, but, you do research some interesting things. But, I'll look up the lakes and the history and secrets and junk like that, see if I can't find anything, old trails, and then I'll look up those glaciers down there and see if there was like expeditions. So, that can be kind of fun. Whoops. Ugh. There you go. See, I'm operating with one hand, two poles. That's what happens. So it can be kind of fun to go and research a trail after you've gone and seen it all. And you found some random trails wandering off into God knows where. Well, I'm done. And then this is kind of, this is the river that comes out of that guy. And there's sort of a roughshod trail that comes down here. It's just a bunch of tramped down weeds. Right? Oh, I went the wrong way already. Jeez. Gotta jump over this. Ugh. I got myself focused. You know how? I got hungry. And I still have a fruit bar in my pack. And I'm leaving it until I'm done exploring around down here. So that focused me. And then I hammered my way. I took a pretty good clip on the way back. Well, once I got on the trail. All right, once I got on the trail, I didn't have to rock hop anymore. That gets you going pretty good. Now you're just root dodging. I stayed high. I always stayed on the trail best I could, and I got around the part where I had to bushwhack. So there was kind of a pondy part there, a pond with a bunch of reeds, and I had to bushwhack to get around it on the way up. This time I made sure I stayed on the trail. I always took the high road and I got around it. So all you got to do is stay on the trail and you won't have to do that bushwhacking that I was talking about. Okay, and that's plenty of adventure for one day. One thing about this trail is, like the one to Chephren Lake, is that it is muddy. So you've got like 5 trails going through this part because of all the mud. Now I could chalk it up to just the fact that everything's muddy today because it's been raining on and off. But hell, it's even carved into the sign, muddy. So I think it's always muddy. It's a little too flat. Flat trails, they keep the water. It's muddy and then people step all over them, and yeah, it's doesn't work as well. That's why trails go up and down sometimes for no real reason, because they're much easier to manage and take care of. But yeah, so wear decent boots that you can traipse through the mud in. Well, banged off that, I think 2.3, 2.4 from the lake. I'm just taking a little break before I hammer off the last 1.3. It just occurred to me that this is most likely my last hike of the season. It is August 25th. I have a few more days off. I'm going to Calgary tomorrow to spend time with family. And after that, I have a brand new job starting. And I also have to move to Calgary. So I have my hands full. And the job is going to keep me very occupied for the first while. I have very intense training. So yeah, not exactly a great one to end off on. It's raining. I'm just doing some lakes. But and the last like 3 or 4 days have been like that. What do you do? I still had some fun. The height of my season is going to be Snowbird Pass. What a sick day. That was the best. Anyway, I think they should put a plaque up for this one. Yeah, you know, it doesn't look like much. A tree is trapped in between 2 other trees, or 1 tree. It grew around it. Good luck trying to get that hunk of wood out of there. That's awesome. That's really cool. I wonder when that tree fell in between. Yeah. That's cool. Well, that's it for another hike. Now I'm dealing with all the wet stuff. All right. It'll be so nice to get dry clothes on, and I've already got my car started. Get the heater pumping, get warm food into me. That'll be excellent. Well, what else are you gonna do on a rainy day? You're out here trying to hike, you're on vacation, and it's raining. Go check out some lakes, right? I mean, I'm not gonna get a hotel room, sit around, watch TV. That's just, get out there and hike. Have a good one.